Hi friends, it's Miss Jen. I'm here to read another story to you. This book that I have for you this week is about circus animals, and it's called The Circus Ship by Chris Van Dusen. And you see the ship and all the circus animals, and it's one of the covers that has a big picture. You can see the entire picture. You can see the boat with the animals. You can see them on the water. And you can see the dolphins and the whales jumping out. This story by Chris Van Dusen, he also drew the pictures in the story, is actually based on a real event that happened in October of 1836, when a real circus ship hit something on the bottom of the ocean and spilled out all of these circus animals into the water. So this is actually based on something that really happened, and we're going to read about it now, so let's begin. The Circus Ship. And the pictures are just wonderful. Here is the title page. The title page looks like one of the old posters that you would see that lets you know that the circus is coming. The Circus Ship. 5 miles off the coast of Maine and slightly overdue, a circus ship was steaming south in a fog as thick as stew. There's the boat, there's the ship, you can see it over here. On board were 15 animals who traveled to and fro. The next day, it was Boston for another circus show. And there they are on the boat. The ship. The captain, Mr. Carrington, was honest and sincere. He thought that they should drop the hook and wait for things to clear. But Mr. Payne, the circus boss, was terribly demanding. He stomped up to the helm where Captain Carrington was standing and screamed, "Don't stop! Keep going! I've got a show to do. Just get me down to Boston town tomorrow, sir, by 2. Okay, and there we see the circus boss, Mr. Payne, yelling at Captain Carrington. And you see some of the animals in the background looking. Then came a crash. An awful bash. Things flew into the air. The ship had smashed into a ledge that no one knew was there. Uh-oh, things went flying. Mr. Payne goes flying. Captain Carrington goes flying. All the animals go flying. And there you can see it hit. The shattered ship began to tip, then sank without a sound. The splashing, thrashing animals swam round, round, and round. And you see them all on the water. You can see all of them. The ostrich, the zebra, you see the elephant. The captain said to Mr. Payne, "Pray tell, what shall we do? We can't just leave them here to drown. We've got to save them too." "The animals?" yelled Mr. Payne. "Why, sir, what are you, daft? It's me that you should rescue. Pull me up into the raft. Now, ferry me to safety, sir, before I die of cold." "Don't question me," barked Mr. Payne. "Just do as you are told." So that there he goes. He's pulling him into the boat, into the raft. As the animals you see are out in the water still. Through chilly water all night long, the animals swam on until they reached an island beach just before dawn. They pulled themselves up on the shore, bedraggled, cold, and beat, then staggered to the village on weary, wobbly feet. And so there they go. They look tired after swimming all night long. Look at their tongues hanging out. They're so tired. The people in the neighborhood had just begun to rise, and when they saw those animals, they had to rub their eyes. They thought they saw an elephant, but wait, how could that be? And what's that little monkey doing in the cherry tree? So here comes the animals. They finally found a town, and you can see the elephant passing, the giraffe, and then there's a monkey here. Soon, animals were everywhere and into everything. There's an ostrich in the outhouse. There's a hippo in the spring. There's a tiger in the tulips. There's a lion on the lawn. There's a python in the pantry. It went on and on and on. And the pictures are so great. And you see all the townspeople pointing and wondering what all these animals are doing there all of a sudden. Mr. Hood was stacking wood and nearly jumped a mile when he found the alligator sleeping on his pile. There it is. And Mrs. Dottie Daly, who grew daisies by the bunch, discovered that the zebra had been eating them for lunch. Oh no. And Miss Fanny Fairy found, according to the rumors, the silly little circus monkey swinging in her bloomers. Uh-oh. There it is. But everything changed quickly, like the turning of the tide. The night the abbot's shed caught fire with Emma Rose inside, from high above the abbot's farm, the tiger saw the shed. The sight of smoke and fire triggered something in his head. He jumped through flames 1,000 times back in his circus days. So he ran past all the people and he leapt into the blaze. There he goes, into the fire. Why is he jumping into the fire? Then everybody panicked. Help! Help! What can we do? When from the raging fire, something big burst into view. It was the most amazing sight, and everybody froze when they saw the tiger saving little Emma Rose. And there they come, barreling out of the fire. They're like, whoosh. And there she is on his back, safe. The tiger's risky rescue changed everybody's mind. The animals weren't bothersome. The animals were kind. And so they lived together, side by side. They got along. It didn't seem like anything could possibly go wrong. So here they are, and all the animals are enjoying their new home with the people that are in the town. There's Emma Rose having lunch, especially with the tiger. And you see the bear. You see the bear over here pulling little boy. You see the camel giving rides. You see the elephant being like a water slide spout. Maybe you can find other things on the page I didn't see. Then Little Red, the messenger, came running with the word. Apparently, a circus ship had sunk, from what he'd heard. The animals are from that boat. They swam in from the bay. The greedy owner wants them back. He'll be here any day. So the people called a meeting, and they quickly hatched a plan. No animal that came ashore would sail off with that man. So there's Little Red, and there's the meeting where they're all talking. The next day, at the crack of dawn, a ship was at the pier, and up the lane marched Mr. Payne, whose voice was loud and clear. I am the circus owner. My ship sank in the murk. I've come to find my animals and put them back to work. Oh, there he comes, barreling into the town. He's got some pretty small feet, though. Don't know how they hold him up. He hiked until he came into the center of the town. His face was red. He scratched his head. He stood there with a frown. Mr. Payne looked high and low, but still he couldn't see the 15 circus animals of his menagerie. And so there are all the animals. And this I'm going to stay on for a little bit so that you can find 15. Sometimes I have trouble finding all 15 animals hiding. But there's one. There's the giraffe. There's two. Let's see. There's the emu or the ostrich hiding as a bush. There's an elephant as a rock. Oh, we see the zebra in the fence. What else do we see? We see a camel over here. We see the hippo. We see the tiger. The python's wrapped around here. There's the monkey. There's the ape. There's the elk. And I think I'm missing some because I don't count 15. But maybe you can help me. Maybe you can find them. He ran around the alleyways. He searched the village square. He even checked the chicken coop. His animals weren't there. Mr. Payne was tuckered out. His heavy chest was heaving. Then Little Red stepped up and said, I think your boat is leaving. There he goes, running to all those places, checking them out. There he's finally resting for a second. He ran off in a fit of rage. His ship was leaving sight, so he jumped into a rowboat and he rowed with all of his might. It'd be interesting to see him jump into that boat. And from that day on, they like to say, their lives were free of pain. It was a happy, peaceful place upon that isle in Maine. So there he goes, paddling off. And I think you can see his ship way out there. And here are all the animals and their neighbors, all so happy. The end. So that was based on a real event that happened in 1836. Pretty cool, huh? All right, Chris Van Dusen, The Circus Ship. I hope you liked our story this week, and I'll see you next time.